Hello and welcome to Monkey's Paper Palooza's Craft Corner. Today I'm going to be going over my new stamp storage as well as some tips and techniques I use for organizing my stamps. So I have just bought these wonderful little stamp pockets from Avery and Elle. For years I've been using plastic CD cases, which I'll show later on, but I have decided to upgrade my system and go into these little pockets. Now, these pockets are fantastic. They have a little flap that goes under, and it makes a wonderful little pocket. And this one, too, oh, there it goes. Has that too. And as you see, this is the larger size. That's the extra large. This is great for your hero art stamps as well as any really large 6x8 stamp kit you have, because this measures approximately 6 3/8, I believe, by I think it's 9.5. About 9.5. So like I said, perfect for your 6x8 stamps. And this is the large, which is more average size. And that measures about 5.5 by 7.25, which is another very standard size. And then you've got the small, and these are 5x5, which is perfect for those small little stamp sets that you may get. So I got all three sizes. Now, it is recommended that you put a insert inside them. I did cut my own and I color coded them. The 6x9 ones I did cut a little bit smaller than I needed, but the other ones were easier to cut. I just didn't have any paper big enough to cut anything bigger. But I color coded mine. I put white for the small, gray for the large, and tan for the extra large. Now, these give your pockets a little bit more stability. As you insert it, it makes it a little bit harder for them to bend. And they're a great way for keeping your stamps in front and your dies in the back. So you can also buy these inserts pre-made. Like I know Simon Says Stamps does it. They pre-make their inserts for the things. You can buy them in packs. I will leave a link down below. And when you're done, this is what they look like. You can stick your whole stamp on the acetate sheet inside the pocket. And you can flip it over and put your dies in there. And same here, stamps. And I have no dies, but just stamp there. And then there's the extra large. I'll show it later with the Hero Arts stamp kit, and that way you can get an idea of how big these pockets are. And you see, I have a labeling system here for mine, and I'll go into that more. I like to have a little almost SKU number for my stuff. So I make these SKUs myself on my spreadsheet, and I just put the size pocket, which is a large, the name of the company the stamp is made by, which is W+9, and the name of the stamp, Forest Friends. And then the last thing on the back tells me it's just a stamp. Now on this one, you'll see I have an SD on the back. That I did so that way I know that it's a stamp and a die. So that way is a good way for me to keep organized. Then later on when I go into my book, I can see that this has a corresponding die. Now this is what I used to use. And I still have some that I have in there because I don't have acetates for them. They were loose stamps. Or I've somehow lost the acetates for them. But they were so hard to use. They cracked every time sometimes I pulled some of my stamps off. And I had this labeling system and it didn't really work. But this is so much nicer. I can keep it clean, neat, and then have a visual aid of what is in the pocket. In the cases I couldn't, you could barely see what was in it half the time. But it also takes up less space. Look how thick this is compared to that pocket. Now, in some cases, I do actually leave the papers or the packaging in the pocket with it, like with these deep red stamps. They have no picture on the back of them. So if I didn't, I would never know what was in the pocket, like you see. So that way I could do that and know what is in there. And the same thing with the paper parachute. theirs come on a cling and they don't have any picture on the back. So it is easier for me to see exactly what was in the pocket. So I have that picture right there. So those are examples I did for those. Now, in order to keep myself organized, because sometimes you can't remember what you have for stamps or you're not sure what you want to use, I like to put mine in a binder. So I categorize them by what they are, like butterfly stamps are with butterflies. And each of them have their little stamp pocket name on them so I can quickly find the pocket they were on. It's almost like a card catalog at a library. And like I said, birds would be with birds, transportation would be with transportation, and it makes it easier for me to find the perfect image for whatever card I'm making or whatever project I'm doing. And all I do is I print them on printer paper with my stamp, and then I stick them inside some clear binder protectors. Now here's when I started. I'm not going to show you this. This is the one that I just had the W+9 stamp. I have these. I pre-make them on my Brother thermal printer. I just print them on the labels and I cut them out and I put them on my sheet after I stamp them. Before I was handwriting them, and it's a lot easier and a lot cleaner for me to understand than understanding my writing, so it is working a lot better. And as you see, I did that with those with the W+9 ones. That way I know exactly where that is. So when I look at that picture, I want those dots. I just go in there and find the packet, and then I have it. And you see it matches this little number I have right on top. So very much like when you go to a library and you go into the card catalog and you find the book you want, and then you go search for it with those numbers. So I have one for my images, and then I have a separate one for my sentiments. And just like the images, I have them separated by category. And sometimes they are duplicated because they fit into more than one category. But these are the only ones I haven't yet. They are my Unity stamps. I haven't done the labeling system for them yet. I'm about to work on that. But as you see, the ones that are already in their pockets and are labeled, I already have their little labels telling me where they are. And I separate them that way. If I want a thinking of you, I can go, there's a thinking of you, or do I like this one? Or do I like that one? And I can pick and choose whatever fits the theme I'm making. Now, all you need basically is some binders, some little tabs, and these wonderful little clear pockets. And you can get those at any of your supply stores, whether it's Staples, Amazon. They sell them. They're just a binder supply, clear protective pocket. And they have thicker ones and they have thinner ones. I usually buy the economy. But that's how I've organized them. Now let me go quickly through the process I start. So I just got this Altenew stamp set. It's really fun and beautiful. I'm sorry, the stamps are a little crooked when I put them back on. I put them on crooked. But I've already got them stamped in my book, and I got the matching dies. I haven't cut them out yet, of course, but they are there. And they're fun for cutting out those beautiful Altenew dies. Can't wait to start playing with them in there. And there's also a happy anniversary and I believe a happy wedding sentiment. And they are layering dies. They're really pretty. I'll put a link down below just in case you're interested. They're called Vintage Roses. But look at all the little layers you got. They're so much fun. All right, so of course I needed the extra large pocket because this is a 6x8 stamp set. And then I always find a little acetate bag I have left over from supplies or something, and I stick my dies in there because I don't want them loose and falling out by accident. So that gives them a little extra protection. And then I stick the stamp set right with their acetates or whatever packaging that came with right inside the front end of the pocket, which is pretty simple. And as you see, even though I cut my insert a little small, it still doesn't affect its stability. And then you just fold it over, and there you go. And I'll end up making the label for it next, and I'll show that in the video. I will apologize ahead of time. It will be shaky. I'm so sorry about that. Not very good at keeping the camera mobile and going, but we will work on that next. And the label will end up looking just like this. And it's so much easier for me to organize and find where I'm going. But the nice thing also about these pockets is I'm going to show you a little something. Even though there's a flap and you think, oh my God, that flap can't hold that in very well. If it's closed correctly, it actually holds everything in very well. And so I'm going to show you how that is in a minute. Let me show it with the kitty one because honestly, this one is the fun. So right now my flap is kind of open. These are 4mm thick. So they are really thick plastic and they will fall out if you have your flap. But if you flap it behind the insert, which is the best way, it actually gives it a pretty strong hold so you don't end up losing your stamp. Because look, I can shake it, move it around. I will say I'm putting links for other brands and their pockets. Altenew makes one now that is a zipper pocket. That looks really interesting too. They're a little bit more pricier. But I do like these too. And you see I haven't got to stamping those in yet. They still got their little labels in the back. I'm a little behind because I've ordered so many at once. All right, so now we're going to go onto the computer. And I'm going to say again, sorry for the shakiness. But this is what I do. I just make a spreadsheet. And as you see, I put all the names and the brands. It also gives me something to look back to if I try to remember, did I buy this stamp already? I can go by the name and say, yes, I did, or no, I didn't. All right, so we're going to type in, of course, the brand and the first thing, which is Altenew. Oops, and autocorrect, of course, wants to make it a different thing, and it's not that. So let me fix that again and make it Altenew. And next, I'll put the name of the stamp. Oops, actually, let me put the size. I'm going to do extra large. I'm going to, of course, it's a stamp and die. See, a lot of them save in my presets, which is really nice. So that way I don't go back. So we're going to type in now the name. And sorry about the shaky video. It is Vintage Roses, so we're going to type in Vintage Roses. Now, you can formulate these columns to make a formula in the last column that makes its own little skew, but I wanted to do my own parameters, and I just didn't want to deal with it. So I've been doing it by hand. So I do an extra large for the size, and then I take the first 4 letters of the brand name, which is, oops, I'm putting Vintage, whoopsie. It's Altenew, not Vintage. All right, so we're going to do Altenew. Sorry, I'm typing and getting this camera in at the same time. And I apparently can't spell. Or I need to caps lock it. Alright, and then I'll do another dash. It usually goes faster because I have both hands. And the name of the stamp, I will use the first 3. Now, if you have 2 things that say vintage, let's say, I usually will put a 1 after it for the second one, a 2 if it's a third, and so on. And as you see, I also put the SD at the back for stamp and die. All right. So now I'm going to go into my Brother P-Touch editor. I love my Brother thermal printer. I do. I know Domino makes some. I mean, any of the label makers you can use. You can even get the more inexpensive label makers. I think I got mine for $60. And it's thermal. You just buy the replacement tape and it keeps on going. It never runs out of ink. It's fantastic. I mean, you can print them out on your computer too if you want to do that. I just love not having to buy ink. So I always start by copying. I mean, you can right click and copy, but I do the command copy on my Apple just because it's easier. And then, we're already opening that one. I need to go P-Touch editor. And I go in my label and I copy paste. And then I put the name, which is going to be Altenew, and I copy that. I like that I can save it in here too. So that way I can go back and just make them quick. And with the P-Touch editor, I noticed if you wait till that little side arrow comes on, let me get that arrow out there, you can highlight the whole thing with one click. No click and drag. You can click and drag. I'll show you in a minute. You can click and drag. Oh, command copy. But I find it's easier just to, just to wait for that little arrow and just click. And pretty much you just draw little boxes and you type in your text in it. It's really quick and easy. And I'll send that to my printer, which is right over here. I have the QL550. I know there's a QL500 that's still available. Mine's been discontinued. But it works the same. And we just print. And there we go. And then I'll just end up cutting that in half. I had a continuous tape and I actually ran out, so I've been doing it on the big labels because I have tons of those. And that way I didn't waste anything. Now on to the labels for my stamp book. These I did on the same label. I just put a bunch of them, spaced them out. I think I fit 12 per label comfortably so that they're not super duper small. And you just copy paste your code in there. Oop, that line moved up. All I have to do is enter it and it'll go back down. There we go. Then when I get all 12 done, I just print as many as I need. I count how many stamps I have in the package and I print enough to do it. Sometimes I do have to split it between 2 stamp packs or leave some that are just going to be thrown away. Kind of wasteful, but it works. And every once in a while, gets the error message on it. And I'm going to print 4 of those. Oh, yes, I know I want to. For some reason, my cord is not connected right there. Push it in more. All right. There we go. And I'm going to get myself some 4 labels here. There's 1. And I'll just cut those out with scissors, and there's 4. Really quick and easy. Now, my stamp storage place is my little Sterilite things that I painted myself. I put my stencils on top, and then, of course, I have my rubber stamps, my Stampin' Up stamps, which I don't have too many yet, my Unity stamps, which I have tons of. They're a wonderful little company. Check them out. I'll put a link down below. Their stuff is really beautiful and very inspirational. And then I have all my small little pockets, as well as some of my old CD case ones that, for the ones I haven't yet found the acetates for or grouped together yet. But as you can see, I have them all in alphabetical order by brand so that I can quickly access and find them when I need them. I got Hero Arts, Deep Red. And these, I'm going to zoom in closer, are my large ones because they're in my gray pack. That's another reason I color coded them, so that I know where they go quickly if I'm in a rush. And then there's my extra large. I have tons of extra large. In fact, I'm going to have to make another drawer. And as you see, I want to show you the Hero Arts. Look at it, fits completely in that pocket. It's perfect for them. So if you're a Hero Arts monthly kit subscriber, these pockets are perfect for your Hero Arts monthly kits. Because you can put your dies in there and your stamp. And I'm going to quickly try to put this in alphabetical order while I'm holding the camera. Hopefully I can do that with one hand. Oh, we're getting closer. And as you see, I got them all in there. Alright, so I got it in there with one hand. Sorry, I got a little jolted around. Don't mind the little toy mess in here. My son was playing while I was doing stuff. But like I said, look how many I can fit in this one drawer. And look how I still have room for these. I don't have as many large and small stamps as I do my extra large. I don't know why, but I like those extra large kits. Now, I'm going to now go into where I keep my packets. So see, I have all of them here stored with my little inserts. I got my large inserts and my white little small inserts with my pocket, and I need to make some more extra large. But I keep that in a little separate drawer. So thanks for watching. I hope this helped you pick out the right stamp stores for you. We also encourage you to check out our website. We have great sales going on. As well, if you sign up for the newsletters, you'll get deals, crafty sales from other crafters and craft stores, as well as get our newsletter where we talk about these videos more in depth. And if you like what you've seen, please check out the last uploaded video as well as one curated just for you. And click the channel button. You will also get a chance to subscribe to the channel, like our videos, as well as get notifications when the videos are newly uploaded. So thanks for watching.